Toxic people don't start by disrespecting you. They test you. Small things first. A joke, a comment, a boundary crossed, just slightly. And they watch. Not what you say, but what you tolerate. Because in their world, respect is not given, it is measured. Most people think the solution is to respond, to say something, to defend themselves, to prove a point. But that's where they lose. Because toxic people don't operate on logic, they operate on reaction. And the more you react, the more predictable you become. The Stoics understood this deeply. As Epictetus taught, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit. The problem is not what they do, the problem is what you allow. And today, you'll learn the one shift that changes how people treat you permanently. The core principle: you teach people how to treat you. This is not a quote, it's a reality. Every interaction you have is training others. You are constantly showing them what you accept, what you ignore, what you respond to, and over time, they adjust. Not consciously, but instinctively. If you tolerate disrespect once, it doesn't stay once, it becomes a pattern. Because in their mind, there were no consequences. And where there are no consequences, behavior repeats. The Stoics didn't try to control others, they controlled what they allowed, and that changed everything. 1. Stop explaining yourself. This is where most people fail. They try to be understood. They over-explain. They justify, they defend. But explanation lowers your position because it signals doubt. When you explain too much, you give the other person space to question your reality. Toxic people use this. They twist your words, they shift the conversation, they keep you engaged. And the longer you stay in that cycle, the weaker your position becomes. A Stoic is clear, not verbose. You don't need long arguments, you need short boundaries. Remove emotional reactions. Toxic people feed on emotion, anger, frustration, defensiveness. That's the reward, that's the goal. Because if they can control your emotions, they control you. When you react emotionally, you give them confirmation. They can affect you. But when you don't react, something shifts. They lose feedback. And without feedback, their behavior becomes unstable. The Stoics trained for this. Not to suppress emotion, but to master it. Calm is not weakness, it is control. 3. Set one clear boundary, not 10. Not vague ones. One clear, non-negotiable. Something simple like, I don't accept being spoken to like that. And then, you stop. No explanation, no debate, no emotional tone, just clarity. Because boundaries are not about convincing, they are about defining. And once defined, they must be enforced. 4. Enforce without drama. This is the step most people skip. They set a boundary, but they don't follow through. They repeat it, they soften it, they ignore violations, and that destroys everything. Because a boundary without consequence is just a suggestion. Toxic people test consistency. If you hold the line once, they will test again. If you hold it again, they begin to adjust. Not because they respect you emotionally, but because they understand the structure. The Stoics believed in action over words, because action cannot be negotiated. 5. Withdraw attention strategically. Attention is currency, and most people give it freely, even to those who don't deserve it. Arguing, explaining, reacting, all of it is attention, and toxic people thrive on it. But when you remove attention, you remove reinforcement. You stop rewarding bad behavior. Silence becomes a signal. Distance becomes a message. And over time, they feel it. Because what they were getting before is no longer available. 6. Accept that some people won't change. This is where real power comes in. You stop trying to fix them. You stop trying to make them understand. You stop expecting better behavior. Because some people operate exactly as they are. And the moment you accept that, you stop wasting energy. The Stoics were realistic. They didn't expect the world to behave differently. They adjusted themselves and removed what didn't align. 7. Become comfortable with walking away. This is the final shift, the one that changes everything. As long as you feel like you need the relationship, you are vulnerable, because they feel it. They sense hesitation. They sense attachment. But when you become okay with leaving, your entire presence changes. You speak less. You tolerate less. You react less. Because you know you are not dependent. And that creates something powerful. Not fear, not tension, but respect. Toxic people don't respect words. They respect patterns, consistency, calmness, clarity, and most importantly, consequences. You don't need to fight them. You don't need to win arguments. You need to change what you allow. Because the moment you do, their behavior adjusts. Or they leave. Both are wins. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. And that's the key. You don't control them. You control your reactions, your boundaries, your presence. And when those change, everything else follows. Do this once, and they will never see you the same again.